Hey everybody, welcome to Empire on What the Flick, episode 206, A High Hope for a Low Heaven. Did I get that right? There's a lot of adjectives in there. Anyway, Jayar, Alonso, Bibbs is out this week. Wow, Father of the Year, Lucius Lyon. I didn't put you in charge. I put you in place.
I mean, we all knew it, but of course we don't expect Andre to get that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess they continue to be able to make you try to root for the guy a little bit because he went out and saved Hakeem. He was part of getting it done, but then he continues to make you go, why did I just have positive thoughts for this guy?
I know. Well, you know, he's a lovable bastard. That's the everybody on the show feels the same way. Yeah, I mean, because when you think about it, the notion of Andre running like the most hardcore street rap label that Empire has in their roster, it's like, I don't see that, but you know.
These are bad business decisions that happen sometimes. Okay, so as we start, the beginning of the whole episode begins with, of course, with Hakeem's kidnapping and beating and humiliation, apparently.
Right, oh yeah.
Which we didn't know exactly to the extent it went because he's not really himself anymore.
No, there's a lot of PTSD going on in this episode. And I thought that was portrayed in a realistic way. Like he seemed like he was in this sort of ongoing state of shock. And everybody around him is trying to be supportive, but I think, this is a family of narcissists, let's face it. So, yeah, they pull together in a time of crisis, but there's only so much they're going to go out of their own me zone to, care about anybody else.
So, I was wondering if I had missed something, because I didn't, as you said, it was a realistic portrayal of how it could potentially happen, but I was like, maybe something that they can't show on TV, they want to say happen, but they kind of dispelled it when the doctor came by and he said, I need to check you out completely.
Right.
But his issues continued. Now, of course, he did snap out of it eventually when he kept failing on his verse with his girl group. I'm not sure what his former object of his affection that turned him down, the lead singer, his new lead singer, what she did to him. But I wasn't expecting it to be that easy after that level of how entrenched he was with his despair.
Well, it's quite possible that we haven't seen the last of it. Like maybe that got him through that moment, and then it'll still come up in some future episodes. This isn't exactly the most realistic show on TV, so maybe he is all fixed now.
Totally.
But it might come up again, because that all happened at the very end of the episode.
Right. And so do you think? I at least want to go through the whole strain of Hakeem's story this episode. Sure. So once you see Lucius, he kind of had a problem with him finally snapping out of it, even though he wants him back at Empire. So I'm not really sure that his rooting for Hakeem to fail is good for him having him back. Say he continued to fail. How does that help him get his son back at his label?
I think it's more kind of like an immediate strategy of if he fails at Lion Dynasty, then that's a way of saying, look, I'll take better care of you. I know how to get you out there. I know what to do to make you a star. Your mother obviously doesn't, so come over here and we'll get you squared away. It doesn't do Lucius any good if Cookie succeeds, I guess, is ultimately.
Yeah, you don't want the rivalry within your own family.
Right. Now, do we think that it's I think Andre does make the very salient point of A&R people probably shouldn't be sleeping with the artists. Do we think, is this happening at labels everywhere and I'm just, naive about the process?
Again, this is another point where as soon as they revealed this relationship between Jay Papa, right?
Yeah.
And Becky, I was like, did I miss an episode? Did it come on during the World Series and I missed something? Because we've
never seen Jay Papa before, so yeah, it's just a new thing, and we joined this relationship already in progress.
Yeah, and you don't know how it started. If she brought him in because she'd met him before, if she's known him since before her time there.
Yeah, did they meet because he was on the label?
Right, all these things. And maybe that's not important. Who knows?
Sure.
But obviously, this is going to be a source of some more drama.
Well, I mean, there's a lot that happens, I think, between episodes. Because if you recall, what is the label? Is it
G? What is it again? Oh.
It's something like Thug Life or something.
There's a big G in it with a gun on the bottom
ghetto,
of it. So,
something. Anyway,
you're right.
The G label. Like 1 or 2 episodes ago, Lucia said, I'm bringing back the G label because he wanted to put his discovery on it. And now suddenly they have a roster, They've got to decide who they're going to cut. I'm like, wait, 2 episodes ago, this label didn't even exist. Like, what, So you can't get too bogged down, I think, in the nitty gritty here. So we're just going to assume, yes, okay, fine. They've been a thing for a while. And now, he's on the chopping block along with all the other artists. But apparently, as it turns out, He's a Christian, and that appeals to Andre. And now Andre's thinking, yes, you're a gangster rapper, but I think Christian is going to be the direction we want to send you in.
Or maybe a good hybrid. Like, who is it? There was a couple in real life artists. Hammer, MC Hammer, when he was MC Hammer. I think he made a vow on each of his records to do one Christian-based song, like Pray. That was the main one, but there was one on every one of his 2 to 3 first albums where he made sure he had a one Christian rap.
Yeah, I mean, it's not unheard of.
Right.
It'll be interesting to see in the universe of this show if they can meld those two strains of music together and find an audience that wants both, at the same time.
But then I'm wondering, actually, so Andre doing this, yeah, he's doing it because he's found Jesus. But then, after, of course, being kind of put in his place by Lucius, he's like, well, he's not gonna like this. And I killed 2 birds with 1 stone.
True. Yeah, I think he was sort of following his direction, and it annoys Dad too. Well, that's just a bonus.
Yeah, it's always good to do that.
Yeah, but I don't. It'll be curious to see how the show plays out in terms of is this a smart way for Andre to do business, or is he mucking up his personal life into professional matters where the two that should be kept separate?
Am I the only one who's a little annoyed by Andre? I don't know if it's the way the character's supposed to be because he's so all over the place. I mean, from his mental condition to his newfound Christianity to his previous absolute assholishness and murderous behavior.
Yeah.
And cheating and all that stuff. This guy has so many different angles.
Yeah, I mean, if the way the show was originally mounted, if this is King Lear, he was totally the goneril. He's the one. He's the educated one who's going to undermine everybody else and set people, set brother against brother and do all that stuff to take over. So it's hard to be in his corner. I agree.
And maybe he's the nearest to the type of person that Lucius is, as we talked about. Lucius dealt with his mom having the mental issue that he has a problem with Andre having now.
The bipolar.
So lastly, as far as, at least from my point of view, as far as the family division that's happening, at the end, my new favorite character, Frida Gatz.
She's pretty great.
I'm sorry, they got upset that she kicked dude in the mouth, and I loved it.
I know. I was thinking, there's a press release for that. This is gonna be a scary thing? Come on.
And then Lucius, of course, using the same track that he tried to hand off to his own son. And he says, you're like the son or daughter that I don't have as these chump sons that I have. Yeah. And he gives her the same track. Now, is that him, again, being insincere to her?
I think it's a little. He's always got the bottom line in mind, And so if he's got this song in his pocket that actual son didn't want, then surrogate daughter, sure, why not? It's like that joke in Pillow Talk where like Rock Hudson's character calls out these women and says, "Oh, I wrote a song for you," and it's the same song every time. They just inserts their name into it,
Yeah.
But I think that part of that is genuine. Part of that is that he does see something of himself in this artist, and she does represent a voice that he feels like built the label originally that he wants to be a part of now. I think he's a huckster and he is an artist. That's the thing about Lucius. As much of a sort of soulless prick as he can be, he is also genuinely a musician and somebody who cares about the work. Those two threads come together.
And I'm worried because, as I said, she's my new favorite character on the show.
Don't get too committed. You start liking somebody and they're going to do something shitty.
Totally, and it's going to happen because they're going to get super close. She's going to be the new favorite son or daughter, right?
Yeah.
Then she's going to find out what he did to her father.
Exactly.
And it's going to just...
That's how soaps work.
Again, like I said, I get too anxious to watch suspenseful shows like this. This is why I stay away.
Deep breaths, Jayar. It's all fictional. It's okay. Everybody goes home at the end of the day.
Can't take
it. We have to talk about William Fichtner as the gay power broker.
Oh, that's right.
What the hell? Any other show, I would be super nervous about that character and like how much of a scumbag he's going to be. And I'm sure he could still wind up being a scumbag, but not just because he's gay, like just because he's a scumbag and who also happens to be gay on the side. I trust Lee Daniels and company that they're going to do something fun with that guy.
Fichtner. So even the name sounds a little...
No, that's the actor's name.
Oh, is it? Oh, Jesus. See, I never knew actors' actual names.
Yeah, I never knew character names. That's why I was referring to everybody as actors. Yeah, I forget the character's name. He's in like 2 scenes. Yeah, William Fichtner, he's a character actor. He was on Prison Break. You've seen him in like a million movies. He actually plays a really like baller gay cop in this otherwise not so great movie called What's the Worst That Could Happen with Martin Lawrence and Danny DeVito.
Oh, yes, I do remember that. I never saw it, but I remember that film.
He's genius in that because he plays this sort of like kind of crazily overdressed, like foppish cop that you think is going to be ridiculous. Like he's got these little poodles and everything, but he's the smartest, toughest guy in the movie that everyone is afraid of.
Oh.
So it's a cool balance. Anyway, so I'm curious to see how
Probably the best part of the movie from what you're telling me.
Yeah, no question. The movie otherwise kind of sucks, but it's fun to see Fichtner playing that.
So
kind
as you're talking about how they write these things, and I feel like it indicates, I mentioned this when I was watching it, as much as Lucius has a problem with gay folks, gay society, gay community, he continues to have to rely on his son,
Jamal,
who's now running it, and now the guy who's going to help save how it's working, his arch nemesis, only because he's gay in the first place. So he has, as much as he's rejecting gay people, they continue to have to help him, and he has to keep accepting it for his own benefit.
Which I think is a cool metaphor for society.
Totally.
Like people like to complain about the gays, but you know we bring a lot to them. And if anything, I suspect that it's one of those deals where the people that you dislike the most are the ones who have the things that you recognize about yourself. So if this guy is as much of a conniver and schemer as Lucius is, well, of course Lucius would have him pegged as an enemy because he doesn't need that around him. He's doing it all himself.
And not anymore.
So good stuff.
Yeah.
Good stuff this week. My other question, and tell me what you think on this. Jamal complains that because he's being marketed as a gay artist, that's not why he's not being taken seriously. Of course, why he's on the phone with the Staples Center and not like somebody else at Empire, that seems a little weird.
Yeah.
The songs that Jussie Smollett performs from week to week, I never get the sense that they would all be on the same album.
Yeah.
Like it seems like he's coming to this from different categories, and I don't know that I've nailed down who this guy is as an artist, and maybe that's why he's not a bigger thing in the universe of the show, or am I just, are my ears
I was trying to remember the coded word. He said the reasons that the Staples Center gave him that he can't perform. Was that what it was?
Yeah.
Yeah, because he said which is code word for he's gay.
Yeah.
And so I was thinking maybe it's code word for you come from two different angles with these songs.
Yeah, that was my thought, but I'm no expert on this part, so I'm just curious. I'm sure you'll tell us in the comments.
Yeah, well, he's angry, he's in love, he's mad about love, and then upset about his father. So yeah, these songs are all coming from different. You're right.
Yeah, as Sandra Bernhard says, put it in the work, baby. And let's not forget, big shocking finale. Turns out that Laz, Cookie, for somebody who hates cops, loves security administrators, was in cahoots with the kidnappers.
Now we find this out because, of course, once Hakeem is being held, he gets a chance to throw his mask off, and he sees a scratch pattern, a tattoo. I
thought it was a brand, maybe, because it's a red line.
Right.
It could be a tattoo, it could be a brand, but some sort of like Longhorns thing.
They all went to Texas.
There you go. Yeah, Austin was great. And so it turns out Laz also. So which means he engineered the whole thing to get himself hired, to get them hired, and Cookie's not going to be happy with it.
Cookie's like street smarts came in a little bit when he mentioned, well, in the past when I was a cop, which was he ever? I wonder.
She thinks so.
Yeah, in the past when I used to work these, the way that people got off of your back was to just pay them, put them on payroll. Mm-hmm. And she was like, but then went ahead and did it. So like her first instincts kick in and say, this doesn't make any sense. Why would I do that? These are assholes.
But she is, as they say, dignitized. And so, so she goes along with it, and clearly, he's just been manipulating her. So I'll be curious to see what the reveal is there. Are they all going to be at the beach one day, and Jamal's going to go, hey?
I feel like Hakeem hasn't really had any interactions with this new security officer.
No, I don't think he's been in the same room yet. No. But I clearly that kind of reveal, at some point, I'd say by Christmas, we're gonna get the truth coming out on that one.
It's gonna be awesome.
So so not only is he traumatized by this kidnapping, but the kidnapping was an inside job.
This could be one of those things that brings his PTSD back that you were saying.
Totally. Yes.
Yeah. Who knows?
Wouldn't be surprised. And we'll be back next week with more Empire. Hope you'll join us.